On Carolina in the Morning, we introduced you to a man who was diagnosed with a rare form of neck cancer that's very difficult to treat. It started off as a sore throat that simply wouldn't go away.
I did the mail thing and they ignored it for a little while longer. And actually I was in Wilmington for Easter in 2006 when I realized I really just couldn't swallow.
Turns out Greg Allen had a stage 4 tumor on his tonsils. He would undergo 7 weeks of grueling treatment, including radiation twice a day and chemo. Doctors didn't expect him to live, but he says it was his will and determination that got him past a deadly diagnosis. Tonight, more on Greg Allen's story. Greg Allen said he never let death factor into his diagnosis.
You know, I didn't. Maybe I was just naive. I didn't know they had told my ex-wife to make plans that I probably wouldn't survive.
The treatments were brutal. Getting nutrition was his biggest challenge. A feeding tube through his stomach was not an option.
Which meant the only feeding tube I could have was through my nose. And if you've ever smelled that can of muck they put down that, plus with the chemo, you don't feel good anyway, and the smell of that. And one night I just ripped it out of my nose.
Greg took matters into his own hands and went on the internet. He found what he calls Scandi shakes from Scandinavia, which he said did the trick, but even that was painful.
I would drink one of those 3 times a day, and then 2 Carolina cups full of water. And I would put lidocaine in my mouth beforehand because of all the radiation. My mouth was basically raw, especially my throat.
He pushed through. The pain went away. Apparently, so did the cancer. Life was finally back, so he thought, to normal.
So you have a new normal. You have a different approach. You have a different thought pattern. Everything in your life pretty much changes, usually for the better.
Usually, but Greg's ordeal was far from over.
Actually, I was on a sales call at work and I felt something in my mouth and I was like, I'm trying not to be, I didn't want to spit something out, but when I got out, it was a chunk of bone.
Greg's mouth was literally falling apart from radiation. Tonight at 11, the conclusion to Greg Allen's story. We'll talk to the surgeon who put Greg's mouth back together again, the 3D way. Now, as we do the first Monday of every month, we're offering you one of our Plaid packs. You can go to WECT.com and click on Plaid pack. We, along with our sponsors at New Hanover Regional Medical Center, will get one to you, or you can stop by here at 322 Shipyard Boulevard and get one at the front desk.
Actually, I was on a sales call at work and I felt something in my mouth and I was like, I'm trying not to be, I didn't want to spit something out, but when I got out, it was a chunk of bone.
We've talked all day about Greg Allen's cancer case. Weeks of radiation knocked out his neck cancer, but it also crushed the bones in his mouth. Well, this month is Head and Neck Cancer Awareness Month. Tonight, WECT's Francis Weller has the conclusion to Greg's story about how a new approach to reconstructive surgery gave him his mouth back.
My jaw was just deteriorating and falling apart.
Without surgery, the left side of Greg Allen's face would continue to crumble. A complex but amazing surgery would make the difference.
The type of reconstruction that I many times have to do, it's called microvascular free tissue transfer, or a free flap.
Dr. William Curtis is a maxillofacial surgeon. He's also an oncologist. He reconstructed Greg's broken jawbone, the only surgeon in town who can do the type of surgery Greg needed. He removed the portion of the jaw that had actually become infected and took bone from his fibula. It's done through 3D technology.
It's a technical surgery where you can transplant pieces of tissue from anywhere in your body. That can include bone, it can include skin, it can include muscle. And you have various donor sites around your body. Depending on the type of defect that's created by removing the cancer, you can tailor the reconstruction to reconstruct it as close to normal as possible.
Greg shows no evidence of a disfiguration. He'll get checked on a routine basis.
Actually, I go back to Dr. Curtis on April 6th. So that'll be, I think, 6 months since they've seen me before. They're tickled to death with my progress.
In the meantime, he's enjoying the people and the things in life that matter most.
Well, you know, fortunately for me, I get to see water every day, and I appreciate water every time I see it. Every time I drive that drawbridge and look at the intercoastal waterway, I appreciate it.
Now, as we do the first Monday of every month, we're offering you one of our Plaid packs. You can go to WECT.com and click on Plaid Pack. And along with our sponsors at New Hanover Regional Medical Center, we'll get one to you. Or you can stop by the station here at 322 Shipyard Boulevard and get one. They're right at the front desk.